Go up? Where's your brother?
Like a lot of little boys, Keegan Ruggieri loves fire trucks.
Mommy sprays the bubbles on the wall, and we put it out with the water in the bathtub. Yeah, man.
And he wants to be a firefighter too.
Because they help people.
But there's something about Keegan that makes him unlike other little boys.
All of a sudden one day, 2 summers ago, Keegan started waving to us and saying hi, and eventually they started bringing cookies out.
Like I said, it just started as one little bag of cookies for his fireman friend, and it's since grown into a cookie extravaganza.
So Keegan has another name to the firemen on beach patrol and at Station 1.
You'd hear, hey, the Cookie Monster's up on 42nd. So if crews switched or when they're switching districts or heading, in and out of that district, they're always like, I'm gonna go see the Cookie Monster.
Thank you.
At this point, they do it so often that we don't even get out of our beach chair anymore. They just go and do it themselves, and they carry on their own conversations with the firemen.
It's not coming off.
Besides playing with the gadgets and seeing his fireman friends, this 4-year-old will tell you the same thing when you ask why he does it.
Because when you do kindness, kindness comes back to you.
And he only wants one thing for Christmas.
Well, the ultimate fire truck.
What does the ambulance do? Does it help take people to the hospital?
The firemen have a Christmas surprise of their own as a thank you to the Cookie Monster.
It does, yeah. It's kind of big like a ladder truck, isn't it?
Opening one bay at a time.
Then what's the truck in the last bay, do you know?
Till the very last one.
Let's see what's in the last bay. How huge fire truck do you think that is?
I don't know.
Do you think I can fit in that truck?
No.
Do you think Mr. Christian can fit in that truck?
No.
Do you think you can fit in that truck?
Yes.
Yeah? Well, that's your brand new fire truck, buddy. Look at that.
Driving his own battalion chief's SUV. Decked out in Myrtle Beach Fire Department swag. Just like a real fireman.
Pretty smile, Keeg. You just got an ultimate fire truck.
Let's turn around.
Woo!
Even making sure his little brother took it for a spin right after him. Because when you do kind things, Keegan said kindness comes back to you.
All right, let's go eat some breakfast. All right.
Tucked away on a golf course.
You'll pour your heart into this thing.
Sitting around the table.
It'll get so big that we can change a lot of lives.
Are people dedicated to saving our Special Forces veterans.
You lose 22 of these guys a day, and that number rings in my head constantly. And this is a battle that it's going to take many of us to do. So
PTSD and military suicides are battles the Sal charity is fighting with a new weapon. And it was inspired by a chance encounter between local businessman and Sal board member Judd Kuhn and a veteran named Josh.
I met a gentleman that was a double amputee Green Beret that was a dog handler at one of the events. He had a dog, a Malinois named Archie. Archie had titanium teeth. He was very impressive, very intense dog. Josh and I ended up having a relationship, and he and I decided we would start a dog program.
A friendship blossomed, and so did a life-changing commitment.
But our goal is let's not do 22 deaths a day. 22 guys taken, let's get it down to 18. Let's get it down to 14. Let's get it down to 12. I personally believe the experiences in these canines will lower that number. I really believe that in all my heart.
Just as quickly as the race to find an Archie for every veteran began, Josh's battle with PTSD came to an end. He became one of the 22.
And I'm sorry. And that's what fueled me. I said, okay, Josh is gone. So I sat around one night and I wrote down Josh and I put, joining obedient shepherds with heroes.
Just like that, Sal's partnership with Baden K9 began.
And I decided that's what we're going to do.
Josh is basically a home invading intruder coming into Judge home. This is serious business, okay? Whenever you're working with these dogs. Make sense? What's up, boys?
We have 3 specific breeds, the Belgian Malinois, Dutch Shepherds, and German Shepherds.
Hey, you! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! The great thing, one of the best things about having a battle dog, a military working dog, or a dog like this, good take, is that it actually forces you to resharpen. He must become sharp and remain sharp in his awareness of his environment and how he communicates and moves in his environment, or the dogs are going to control everything. Turn and face the wall now, or you'll continue being bit.
After 17 years of military and special operations service,
Hands on the wall!
Kevin Whitenet is now a military contractor who uses his dog Callie as an example of what Baden Canine is doing for Sal.
A typical day with Callie is a day of training. Leave. In preparation for operations. So the operation could be this, coming here to Sal to hang out with operators, do some demos. Judd, call 911. Give them some education on family protection dogs or military working dogs. That could be the operation, or the operation could be, punching in Northwest Mosul, on the last push against ISIS.
These aren't cuddle dogs, highly trained and skilled, like its operator. Each Baden Canine can be like Callie, or it can serve as a service and high-end family obedience and protection dog, or all of the above. Baden Canine is Canadian-based, and owner Josh Perry says whatever the Sal veteran wants out of the dog, he gets.
It varies on the need, so if they're looking for a trained, we call fully trained dog, it can be anywhere from 10 to 13, 14 months.
Training doesn't happen overnight, and the wait list is long.
There's a lot of veterans out there waiting. We've spoke to veterans before where they've been waiting for a couple of years to get a dog. And 2 minutes is a long time. 2 years is a very long time. Like, how does a dog go to places that medicine and man can't?
Kevin may have some of that answer.
The greatest thing the dog does for the warriors, it forces them to reconnect with human beings. One of the greatest challenges to warriors who are suffering from emotional distress or combat physical trauma or combat brain trauma is isolation.
What to say, man? I don't know what to do.
So one by one, Sal and Baden Canine are slowly chipping away at the number 22.
Thank you, Lord.
Finding ways to fight the clock.
Thank you, Lord.
With Josh's memory in mind, and get more of these dogs into the hands of special operations, active duty, and veterans.
22 a day, 22 a day, 22 a day, taking their lives. We don't have time.
Yeah, it looks like they're packed pretty perfectly. Let's do this one first.
There we go.
If he realized the smiles that he puts on all these kids' faces,
Probably gonna put it right here.
it would surprise him. I really believe that.
All right, we got 2 more big boxes.
Because he just does it out of the goodness of his heart.
How long did it take you to pack these? A couple of hours.
Like a puzzle. 340 toys packed perfectly between these cardboard walls
I don't really
are
know.
piecing together who this 13-year-old is shaping up to be.
Most kids want toys. They don't want to give toys away.
Or sit it on the bottom.
Colt Galloway heard about the toy closet in Palmetto Health Children's Hospital 3 years ago
That toy closet is like her joy.
from a sick friend.
And so they came from donations, and I said, Mom, I want to start a toy drive for them. And so it grew into this. Yeah, there we go.
Colt's church, school, family, and friends all pitched in.
Got it?
550 toys stocked the closet after the first delivery last year. Got it? 500 more were delivered last month, and 340 toys Wednesday.
I said, you need to come up with a name, and he goes, already got one. And he said Colt's Closet, and I thought that was just perfect.
Hey, Colt. How are you? It's good to see you.
But
Good to
Colt's
see you.
closet didn't start with Colt filling the closet.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
It started with him being a kid who takes a toy out.
There you go, my dear. Okay. I'm going to have everybody come in and see you.
Colt has hemophilia.
You want to push a button? Green one.
He's been coming here once a year since he was 10 for treatment, where he met his sick friend.
When I was done with my treatment, she said, are you all done? And I said, yep. And she said, am I going to see you tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
And so that really stuck to me because she has to come here a lot more than I do.
We're actually going this way.
And where he met his favorite nurse.
And I took him to the prize box, and he saw all the prizes.
That first visit.
And he was like, this is really cool. And the next thing I know, I get a phone call that he's wanting to start collecting prizes for the prize box.
1,390 toys later.
It makes me proud just because he's my patient and he's doing this for the clinic.
Colt's Closet is giving hundreds of sick kids a smile. And thanks to his treatment.
What positions are you?
Pretty much all of them. I play quarterback, wide receiver, and running back most of the time.
I'm gonna miss you.
He's living a life he didn't think was possible. The wheels on the track, the chug of the engine, and whip of the caboose. Sounds we all know that take us back to our days on the Childhood Express. It looks good with that. Oh, boy. But here, we can all get back on board.
Someone will stay here for half hour and watch me, if not more.
This is Michael and Lori Koshanik's rail line, built by hand.
My wife did one stone at a time and glued them. It took a long time.
It was fun.
And the rail line around the fishing village at the KOA campground isn't even close to complete.
It was just a lot of work, but a lot of fun.
A lot of work, but a lot more to do.
Piece by piece.
It doesn't have to be perfect because it's not meant to be perfect.
The rail line project isn't fueled just by the kids, but by each other.
Well, 42 years already.
42 years. We've been together since we were just about kindergarten. We lived in the same neighborhood.
Yep.
And
We were dating when we were about 14.
14.
So.
And we've been together ever since.
A KOA campground must see.
When we moved up here, I put it all around my house, and it was going underneath my house.
They moved it from their house to the pool after Hurricane Matthew. And now the line just keeps getting bigger and better.
Yeah, I just did one dock I did at the beginning of the year, and the other one I just finished a couple weeks ago. I built it right here. Everything here, we made it. My wife did a lot of the painting. I built them, the electric, everything lights up at night, and it's really
Nighttime,
sharp.
it's really pretty.
Like any good partnership.
You're one. You know?
Yeah, you become one.
You become one. You really
Michael
do.
and Lori are on board together. While Michael hammers away,
You got to have the small stuff.
Lori perfects the details. And the engine whistles through the smoke. The love train plays on for all to hear. No matter the election, who's running, or for which party, there's one man you can always find at the polls on Election Day, encouraging you to vote for whoever you want. It's a family tradition unlike many others, and one everyone can appreciate, especially today. From the Mary C. Caney Recreation Center in Myrtle Beach, here's your good news.
Good morning. How's everybody this morning?
It seems like no coincidence.
Thank you for coming out to vote this morning. Thank you.
The Ballin family name is just 2 letters off from ballot.
Just give us a minute. We got machines rolling.
You could say voting is in their blood.
Coming in. Long ago, my mom used to be the clerk at this precinct. So I started off helping her, and I just never left. Everything you need to touch will be on the screen.
Jared Ballin saw the power of the ballot at an early age.
All right, there's your ID.
And he passed it on.
And you give a chip to the gentleman or the lady, and they'll get the machine ready for you. And thank you.
I started bringing my children over here to work the polls with me ever since they were like maybe 6 or 7 years old.
Very proud. Very proud. I couldn't be any prouder than any guy. He is the best. But as far as my father, he's an excellent man.
Thank you, sir.
His wife, niece, and longtime friend Betty Chestnut are a team here.
It's been a great morning.
Chestnut and Ballin have been a team for over 20 years, and Ballin has put on his election apron for 30.
Getting up in the morning and it's election day, and you know what you get to do.
Christmas to me. If you need any help, just holler at me.
Yeah, sure.
I get up like 4 o'clock in the morning because I don't want to be late. You know, I want to have this stuff ready, set up and ready to go when the first person walks to the door. And if you make me late, it hurts my heart.
So if you're questioning why your vote matters, remember,
They had an election in Loris not too long ago,
someone like Gerald is counting on you.
and the winner won by one, O-N-E, one vote, one.
And if you don't fill out your ballot,
We're already over 100.
the Ballins only ask you follow their rule. If you don't vote, you can't complain.
God bless you. See you next time.